This is the latest kit that I'm producing for the 5G6, which is a basically what you see here, that particular helicopter with a dual counter rotating blades. This is an upgraded version. I have simply taken the old 5-6 mechanics and reconfigured this using some Mia parts like the canopy, the landing gear. I'm still using the same frame for the 5G6 helicopter. I made it, and I've done some vertical and horizontal stabilizers for this particular setup. And that's how that helicopter looks. But let's talk about the landing gear here. I want to point out that there are two types of landing gear kits. One of the kits that I produce comes with G10 skids, tough struts, and these two plates, side plates here that attach to the existing 5G6 helicopter frame. Let me focus in on those parts that I just described, which are these parts here. These are the frame adapters, these are the struts, the tough struts, and these are G10 skids. Now, I also make the same kit with the same material that I use for the struts, I also use in making the skids. Now, for this particular setup with the G10 skids, there's no need to glue these parts. These are snap or press fit, and I kind of like these. These are my favorite, as I mentioned in some of the posts in one of the RC groups thread, is that I like these particular skids because they come already with the angled. Now the G10 skids are just a little bit heavier than the plastic skids that need to be installed to the struts with plastic pegs. Those you have to glue to the struts. These you may need to sand the edges or corners of these pegs of the G10 skids slightly so they fit easier inside the tough struts. Don't force these, but make sure that they go in with a snug fit. And so that's what you should end up with, a nice, good looking landing gear for your 4.3 or for your 5G6 helicopter, Walkera helicopters. And it's pretty strong. You know, a lot of people ask me, you know, how strong this is. This is very, very strong. I mean, your helicopter can land pretty hard, and you're not going to do any damage to the landing gear. I like to call this particular Mia Tough Strut landing gear a heli saver, because it basically saves your heli from possible damage, and you almost have to try it. I think most people that have bought this and really have flown it and crashed with the helicopter will probably attest to the durability and practicality that this particular landing gear, the way it's made, provides. On the other hand, when you have a tough skid versus a G10, you're not going to break this part regardless of how you crash or how you bend it. So there are some pros and cons in having the G10 skids or the tough strut skids. This is the same material. Both types provide protection for your helicopter. They both work equally well in terms of protecting the helicopter within reason. This one requires a little more work because this has to be installed with glue to the struts with these small pegs. So I'm leaving this up to the buyer to be able to decide which one that they like best. Everybody has their own preference. I like these because of the angle that they provide on the struts. It's an automatic angle once you install the skids to the struts, and it gives the helicopter that sort of fast look, if you will. This is one that I'm building for a friend. I have one that I'm building one for myself. Pretty much the similar setup. Once you are done with the complete landing gear assembly, which is this section here, or this sub-assembly, You want to install this onto the G10 support plates, which have been glued, CA glued to the side of the 5G6 frame. The way this is attached or assembled, there's no need to glue it or no need to screw this part onto these supports here. What you need to do is get a hold of a pliers similar to this one. These are conical nose, needle nose pliers, and the way this is done is you have to squeeze gently the areas where they will snap in place into the side frames. Let me demonstrate that using this particular one here. You want to squeeze the top strut so that it goes into the snaps into the G10 support plates. Do this once these plates are already installed onto the existing 5G6 frame. It makes it easier, and it makes for a true even assembly. You're gonna have to do this gently, take your time, and you should end up with a similar setup. Now this helicopter is one that I'm building for a friend. It's got a few other little mods, such as these tip extenders, which I also make. It's just that I don't have these on my site yet, but these are done to extend the blade diameter. I did these because I'm using the original 5-6 blades, which are smaller than the The Walkera 5G6 helicopters come with wider and longer, slightly longer blades than the 5-6. The 5-6 helicopter was the original coaxial that Walkera made before they made the 5G6. These are the parts from the 5-6, the frames from the 5G6, the motors are from the 5. These stabilizers are also Mia Microflight upgrade parts. It's just an aluminum machine part, anodized red, which has slightly higher weight than the original ones. It also provides a cleaner custom look for your coaxial 5G6 helicopters. This particular part is installed by retaining the same flybar and clipping with a wire cutter the original or stock tip weights. You can remove them or clip them. It's easier to clip them right at that point there, making sure that you maintain the same distance from one side as you do to the other side, equal distance. And these install with screws that are provided with this particular upgrade part. This is a new part or a new upgrade kit that I'm going to be setting up on my site for purchase in the next week or so. So that pretty much covers all the Mia Microflight upgrades for the 5G6. This is a revamped modification to the 5-6 helicopter using Mia Microflight upgrades.